What is going on? It's Nate back here again with another Truck Talks. I hope you guys enjoy these because I do them a lot. But today's topic is reshaping your reality. So this is a topic that I could talk about all day long. I could make this video probably 3 hours long. But I'm just going to tell you how I did it. So it's going to be kind of story time, but you could also do the same exact steps, and I promise you your life will change too. So first things first, you got to figure out what you want. Right? You got to find what you desire. You got to find what life you want to live. What are you working toward? What are you waking up every morning to achieve, right? You have to know, because if you don't know, you're not going to be living a life of positive movement. You're probably going to be going backwards because you can't stay the same. So if you don't know where you want to go, you don't know what you want to do, you're probably not going to be very productive. So you got to figure out exactly what you want, where you want to live, what you want to do, and there's no limits, right? Everything that you get in your life comes from God, and God is an infinite source. So there's no limit to what you can achieve except for the limits you put on yourself. And that's what a lot of people get wrong, is you ask them what they want, but they only tell you what they want based off their current situation. You know, like, what do you want? And they'll tell you what they think they could get right now that, you know, might be a little bit of a stretch, or, you know, maybe they could make it work. That's what they'll say they really want. But when you really dig into it and you're like, well, you can have anything. Money doesn't matter, you know, nothing matters. You can have anything. What do you want? They'll give you different answers. And so that's what you have to base it around. You have to figure out exactly what you want, right? It doesn't matter how unrealistic it is. As long as it's physically, like, humanly possible, then it's fine. You can literally make it happen because there's no limit. Like I said, your only limit is what you believe to happen. Because if you set these goals, you're like, oh, well, I want to make $100 billion a year, and then you have no belief in yourself and no belief in the fact you can do that, you're never going to get it. So you ultimately have to find what you truly want, but you have to also be able to believe that you can get it. And that comes over time, right? When you first set your goal, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, I already got this. It's going to take time for it to dig into your mind, and for it to be normal for you to think like that, for it to be normal for you to believe you can achieve that. So you want your goals to scare you. And that's the biggest thing I learned, because I would always go from, like, trying to increase, say it's for income, I'd always want to increase by like 10% or 20% or whatever, right? And that doesn't do anything to your mind, because you already know how to do that. Everyone knows how they can make 10% more money. You work a little bit more, right? You do that one extra thing on the weekend. I mean, there's a million ways to make money. When you're only trying to make a little bit more, a slight adjustment, it's not hard at all. And so you don't think really any differently. But when you jump, like, do a quantum leap, like say you're making 10K a month and you want to go to 100K a month, that's when your mind has to expand. Your mind has to put you on these new frequencies, these new levels, to be like, okay, how in the world am I going to do this, right? Because nothing I'm doing right now is going to get me there. And it forces you to think of new ideas. It forces you to expand your mind and be open to new opportunities. And that's how you're really going to change your life. That's where it starts. So then you have your desire, right? You know exactly what life you want to live. You know what you want to do to earn your money. You know how much money you want to earn. You know where you want, what cars you want to have. You know what vacations you want to take. You know how you want to dress. You know what dinners you want. Like, you got to know every little detail of your life. So once you have this figured out, which is a really actually difficult part, because a lot of people don't know what they want. But once you have that figured out, then it comes down to taking action. Because if I told you right now, you know, if you told me your goal, I want to make 100K a month or whatever, right? And I said, okay, what's one thing you could do right now to get you closer? I guarantee you could think of one thing that you could do to work in the direction of your goal. I guarantee it. But the problem is nobody does it, right? Action is the issue. Nobody takes action. That is the biggest issue in this world, is everyone dreams about these things they can have. They wish for it. You know, they say they truly want it, but they don't take a single action to get there. And let me tell you, if you're not taking action, nothing's going to change. So once you figure out what you want, you need to start moving in that direction instantly. Like that day. Like, I get an idea, I'm putting it into action that day. Even if it's just a video saying what I'm going to be doing. Like, you have to just plant the seed as soon as you can, because if you don't, it's going to just fizzle away. And then it'll resurface 2 months later, you'll do it, and then realize you should have done it 2 months ago, because now you would have been way further ahead than you are now. That's what happened to me multiple times. So you got to take action right when you get these ideas. And the way you're going to continue to get these ideas that match with your your new life or the new life you want to live is you have to be constantly thinking about what you want. You have to constantly be thinking about the life that you're going to be living, and it will put you on that frequency and you'll attract similar ideas, right? So I was constantly thinking I'm making $100,000 a month from my phone, right? And at the time, I'm not making $100,000 a month and I'm not making money from my phone. So technically it was just completely unrealistic, right? None of it was actually happening at the time. And so at first my mind's like, what is this guy talking about? And then I did, repetition over and over and over. I was constantly thinking about it, constantly reading my own writing. I make $100,000 a month from my phone. And then eventually your mind agrees with it, right? So now my mind agrees that that's the truth. Has it moved completely into form yet? No, but I'm moving at an extremely fast pace to get there, right? And so that's what it comes down to, is when you're constantly thinking about what you want and you're feeling yourself in that position, you will attract the thoughts that you need to get there, and those thoughts will take you where you want to go, or where you want. Yeah, those thoughts will take you where you want to go, but you have to take action on them, okay? Because you're going to get these ideas that come to you, and you need to do it, but it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to make you very uncomfortable because it's something you've probably not done before, right? If you want new results, if you want new things to come into your life, you're going to have to do things you've never done. If you're trying to do the same things over and over and expect new results, you could say that you've lost your mind. So, right, you're going to have to do new things, which is going to make you nervous. It's going to make you anxious. You're going to be in a weird state where you're constantly nervous, right? That's how I am. I'm nervous a lot of the time because I'm constantly doing things that I don't know, right? It's not familiar. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm doing sometimes, right? Like, not in the way of I'm stupid, but in the way of I've never done this, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to figure it out, and I know I'm going to deliver. And so that's kind of the idea you have to be on, is like, it's okay that I don't know what's going on. It's okay that I don't know how to do this. I'm going to push through because I know I'll figure it out. And this is what happened to me with my detailing business. I ordered the detailing supplies, and I booked my first clients before I'd ever picked up a detailing like brush or anything. So it's like, you don't necessarily know how to do something before you do it. Knowing does not precede doing. You do, and then you know. You never know until you do. I know that's a tongue twister, but it's the reality of it. So once you figure out what you want, you're taking the actions, right? You take your first few actions to get you going, and then you got to keep your eye on the prize. You got to constantly be thinking about what you want, constantly be thinking about where you're going. Don't stress about how you're going to get there. Don't try to work out the logistics of it. Just think about where you're going. Think about it all day long, okay? And you will start to move in that direction. I promise you. You'll literally feel it. You will be moving in that direction. You'll get new ideas. You'll be anxious. You'll be nervous, and things will be moving really fast. You'll be getting these ideas or these people that are texting you, and you're like, why are these people even texting me? And then you'll figure out down the line why they were. It doesn't always connect right away, but when you jump to that new frequency, you start attracting people that you haven't talked to in a while. You start attracting people that you may not understand why you're attracting them, but eventually it connects. So the hard part for me, okay, so once you figure out what you want and you start taking those first few actions, that's the easy part. That's where you're like, yeah, this is easy. Things are going fire, right? Things are going smooth. Like, it couldn't be any easier. Then it gets to the point where you are trying to almost logically think things through, and you forget about keeping your eye on the prize. And because you're taking actions in the real world, you're starting to think of things from the real world perspective, which you can do because the life you're living isn't here yet. It's not in the real world. It's in the spiritual world. So you have to just always, this is the biggest mistake, because I messed this up for like a month or two. So it really pushed me back on my journey, is I was just constantly thinking about logically how I can make my goal happen, right? And so I was like, okay, well, I need to be detailing as much as possible so I can make as much money as possible, so I can put it into my account and trade as much as possible. But I completely lost track of the fact that I wanted to make all my money online, and that I can make way more money online than I can from detailing. And so I was so focused on what was happening in my real situation at the time that I mixed that in with my end goal, which completely threw everything off. But once I refocused and I was like, okay, detailing is not my priority, right? This other stuff's my priority. Am I still going to detail? Yeah, but it's not like my focus. And and then you just keep your eye on the prize, and you'll naturally feel pushed to do these different things that you don't really know why. You may not know why you're doing it. You may not know, you know, why you have the urge to talk to that person or call that person, but you just have to do it. You just go with it, because you'll find out down the line why or what's happening, or what, you know, why you're being urged to talk to them. But yeah, so that's kind of my summary of how to reshape your reality. I don't think I went too in depth with it. It's difficult to explain, but without like slides or anything. But yeah, ultimately you got to figure out what you want, and then you got to take your first actions moving in that direction to get the momentum going. And then you just keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on exactly where you're headed. Don't worry about how you're going to logically do it. Just focus on the fact that it's already done, that you already do it. It's already the present, right? Because everything you need to get there is already here. And so you just start moving, and you keep your eye there, and God will show you every step of the way. And remember, God's timing is perfect timing, so don't feel like you're moving too slow. Don't feel, you know, God knows what he's doing. You know, you're going to get everything just when you deserve it, just when it's meant to happen. So don't rush things, but move with speed. I don't know, I know that kind of sounds backwards, but don't rush, but move with speed. Don't just be trying to do stuff, but when you get ideas, move and take action, and your life will change. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video.